And we move on to the first session of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly, I shall introduce the speakers onto the stage. I thank all the ladies. Thank you very much. We begin with the first session of the day, Building Digital Culture Strategies for SMEs. And I take the pleasure to introduce the moderator, Ms. Usha Palyat, CEO, COWE India. Entrepreneurial Talk by Ms. Alka. And the speakers for this session, Dr. Sriram Biruduvolu, CEO, Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, DSCI, NASSCOM Initiative, Hyderabad. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Let's also welcome Ms. Mahuya Ghosh, Director, Product Line Manager and AI Strategist, Dell Technologies. Mr. Anurag Singh, COO, UFG Lab, UAE. And our eminent speaker, Mr. Nicholas Carey, President and Co-founder, Blockchain.com UK. And we also welcome Dr. Raji Bhaskaran, Founder, CEO, Project Karma, USA. And I now hand over the session to Ms. Usha Palyat, CEO, COWE India.
Give an introduction of her business, which is in this space.
Morning, everyone. My name is Alka. I'm the founder of Pay8 Payments. What we do is help small and medium businesses and MSMEs to sell online. So we do this by ensuring that the transaction success rate improves by 30%. We are in partnership with COWE, and so we would love to be able to help you to sell online. That is one of the most important things when you have a business, right? You want to sell, you want to start generating revenue. We also help businesses to develop their own websites at probably 1/5 the cost of a platform like a Shopify or a Wix. Why are we doing this? It's very important to keep your personal Paytm or your personal Google Pay away from the one of your business. As you grow, as you scale up, you will find that the need for transparency is there in your accounting. And this can only happen if you keep the two accounting systems of your personal life and of your business that you're building separate. And this is what Pay8 is here to do. We would be very happy to work with all the COWE members to ensure that they are able to sell better, both within India as well as in the international market. Thank you.
Thank you, Alka. It's a great pleasure for me. Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to moderate this panel on building digital culture, the strategies for MSME. This discussion is more relevant than ever in today's rapidly evolving business landscape. The digital revolution is reshaping businesses globally, and MSMEs are at the heart of it. With over 63 million MSMEs in India, contributing 30% of the GDP and nearly 50% of exports, their role in economic growth is undeniable. However, less than 25% of Indian MSMEs have fully embraced digital tools, highlighting the need for a structured approach to digital adoption. How can small and medium enterprises effectively leverage technology to compete and scale globally? That is what we will be discussing here today. And to help me talk about this, I have a very distinguished panel of speakers. Let me just introduce them to you. We have with us Dr. Sriram, who is the CEO of DSCI, Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. He has had an extensive career in IT, ICT, telecom, and cybersecurity. He is leading in innovation and high-performance teams. He's a PhD in Open Innovation in ICT from IIFT, Masters in Computer Science and Bachelor's in Electrical Engineering. He's an author of Business Innovation and ICT Strategies. He heads the cyber audit committees for states, data centers, and IT vendor selection. He's a former head of information services at T-Hub and incubating almost more than 160 tech startups. He's held key roles at Oracle, VeriSign, Siemens, HP, and TechSpan, and managing global teams. He has led major projects across USA, Europe, Asia, and Middle East. He currently advises C-level entrepreneurs, executives, and startups and industry leaders. Next, we have Mahuya, who's who's working as a director with Dell Technologies. She's had more than 17 plus years of experience in product management. She specializes in B2B and SaaS across industries. She's an innovation coach and an AI strategist with over 9 patents filed at USPTO. She has been awarded as the Distinguished Product Leader. Another author among our midst, with the author to being Mystery to Mastery and Ideation to Productionization, and a creator of Rapid Wireframe Crash Course. She's a speaker, a columnist in many places. She has mentored over 1,000 plus startups and professionals in deep tech, med tech, fintech, and AI. She's an expert in go-to-market strategies, investor pitch decks, and product market fit. I would advise all the startups here to come talk to her later. She also hosts a YouTube channel on product management. We have Anurag with us. Anurag Singh is CEO of UFG Labs from UAE. He is a CEO and CTO of UFG Labs. It's a cutting-edge blockchain project, merging proof of work and proof of sales for enhancing security, speed, and scalability. With an extensive experience in blockchain architecture, cryptographic security, and decentralized finance. He's actively innovating in the Web3 space and pushing boundaries of decentralized technologies. There is a lot of work which, if I start reading it, I don't think we'll have a panel discussion here. So, sir, I apologize for cutting short the introduction. Then we have Dr. Rajshri Bhaskaran. She's the CEO and founder of Project Karna. She's coming from US. She's a PhD from Santa Barbara, MS Cornell, and BTech from IIT Madras. She has inducted into SMEs and Sensor Hall of Fame for human-machine interface innovations. She holds over 40 plus patents in AI, ML, and advanced technologies. She's a chair and board of technical advisors to SEMI, global speaker and panelist in AI, ML, and cybersecurity. With over 15 years of experience in Intel Corporation, she's also an affiliate professor at University of Washington, venture partner and advisor, etc., etc., etc. Again, I'm not repeating the whole thing. So with such a distinguished panel on the dais, I think I should speak less and let them speak more. Let's start with the first question, and we will start this way. So one of the issues that when I mentioned the statistics, that only 25% of MSMEs are adopting digital tools. Why do you think that is, and how can we, what is the barriers to that? If I could have a few sentences from each of you.
Hello, first of all, thank you very much, COWE and the initiative, WISE initiative, for inviting me here. Okay, and thanks for moderating this panel, Ms. Usha. So, actually about your question, it's a very good question. First thing is the awareness. Okay, people are not aware that this can help them save a lot of time and get their job done. So, to the question that why digitalization itself happens, so there are 3 key reasons why digitalization is required or it happens. The first one is the experience. The experience, it transforms. Whether you take an Uber app or your online medical records, it transforms your entire experience. Okay, or you're watching, you're doing online shopping or you're watching online movies, the whole experience is different. So that is the first thing. It brings together a new experience. You would not like to go back waving hands on the road to stop a hail a taxi or something. You would like to simply click and get that. So that is the first thing. The second key reason, very briefly, is efficiency. Efficiency, faster, better, cheaper, stronger, all these things put together. So that is the efficiency, how it brings about. It removes inefficiencies, brings in efficiencies. The third key reason is that of possibilities. Possibilities indicate all the innovations that will happen by connecting the dots, by putting together new business models, and so on. These are the 3 reasons why digitalization happens. Now, what has happened is the people who need it the most, okay, who are in all these departments, for example, MSMEs are there, startups are there. They need to bring in good value proposition. They need to bring in the efficiencies. They need to innovate. They need it the most. And they are the people who are not using it at all. They're stuck in some mindset or something. That needs to change because awareness on all these fronts need to be brought. And I'm sure that organizations or conferences like this can help make a big difference. And through demos, and nowadays it's even cloud. You don't even have to invest in infrastructure to take to digitalization. So I would say the topmost reason is that of lack of awareness. The second thing is a hesitance towards investment. They feel that whatever value proposition, they can simply continue in that. That's a mindset thing. You need to break that and show that there are new possibilities of doing things, right? And because everything is being done in the same way and all. So I just want to, I'll call out maybe later in the session or so. Only in India there is a misconception that MNCs mean big companies. Wrong. Whether you go to Taiwan, South Korea or so, small companies are MSMEs. And this lack of digitalization is what is causing them to be stuck. They can even export globally. They can do a lot of things with it. I'll stop here.
Thank you, sir. Maria?
Yeah, so I completely agree with what Sir just mentioned. I'd just add a few more points to it. So of course, I also agree that it is mostly awareness and investment, which which are the main hindrance, or which are the top two barriers to adopt digitalization. But at the same time, there are, I'm sure, a lot of SMEs who want to go digital, who want to scale and go global, but they don't know how to go about that, how to go about and do that in the best possible way. So yeah, also there are a lot of misconceptions also. Like one is, I would say, a lot of SMEs do not know, and the second part is misconception. I'll elaborate a little bit more on the misconception part. Many SMEs, they kind of see that going digital or innovating, or basically going digital is essentially, they look at it as, software upgrades, whereas it is, it has a lot less to do with software upgrade, but it has a lot more to do with business model shift, right? So I'll just give, a few examples so that it kind of sticks. Softwares or going digital or automating your business, you would only be able to reap the benefits provided, your business models are set correctly. Otherwise, what would end up happening is this, like you're just going to digitize bad business processes. Let me give an example. There is this, manufacturing unit, textile manufacturing company based in Surat. It's woman-led. They were doing really good. I mean, they are still doing very good. Consistently, like 3 years, they have hit their revenue target of several CR. They were very profitable. And at that point in time, they felt that, okay, it's time to kind of invest in digital technologies. And the first thing that they did was to invest in an ERP software. But you know what? They had issues in their inventory. Like, they should have first addressed that. So what ended up happening was investing in the ERP, of course, it cost them a lot of money. And at the same time, it led to a lot more confusion and inefficiencies overall. So my advice would be, don't look at going digital as a software upgrade. Rather, start with business goals. A useful business goal to start with would be like, I want to reduce the delays in order, or I want to improve my inventory management system. Whatever it may be, start with the business goal, then evaluate, and then digitize in layers. Like, don't go about and digitize all of your business processes at the same time. Identify areas where there are problems. First, fix those business process related problems, and then digitize one at a time. And while you do that, you could also go one platform at a time. Today there are so many different platforms. So do it in phases. And lastly, you don't really need a lot of, my recommendation is going to be, do not spend heavily on on a specific application, evaluate lot of apps that are there in the market, pick a one that resonate with your business model, which is a good fit for you, and look for trial and go like ultimately use something which has subscription based model, so that you have an easy exit option. The cost is not too high. So yeah, so always think of digital transformation as a business model transformation. It's not like tech driven, it should be business driven. I think I've spoken a lot, so I'll let my other panel members to kind of chime in. Thank you, Usha.
Thank you, Mahuya. Anurag, you've had the experience also seeing businesses abroad and them digitizing. What would you see the reason they have started digitizing faster, or they're not faster? It's just our perception.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks to COWE for having me on the panel. Regarding the startups and the companies which are starting abroad, and they are having great success in the international market regarding the adoption of digital technology, is that they are following the trend. They are educating themselves first. Because the founder of the startup or a company may not be technically sound himself, but if he gains that knowledge, even in layman terms, he will be able to understand which technology he has to adopt. So basically, trend is your friend. In India, people, they shy away. For example, if some founder basically doesn't understand the technology, he may not basically ask for any help from any technical person or any technical consultancy. And we have lack of that infrastructure to educate startups, to educate founders regarding the technology which is available for them to adopt. And we have to have that kind of infrastructure, an educational infrastructure, which educate the founders of the startups regarding the trend, regarding the Web3, AI, ML, how they can integrate that into their startups. Because if we do not tell them, they will not know where to find it. Yes, we have suggestions that, okay, this should be adopted, that's how you should manage your business, this is there. But that is limited to, like, a small setting, a small sample size. But if we have to reach a broader scale of startups, a broader scale of industry, so we have to have a plan in India to educate people on the ground, to have something accessible to them, readily available to them, so that they understand the technology much better, what they have to adopt. In abroad, for example, I can take example in UAE, many startups, many industries, they have different organizations which are there to help them understand the technology, what they can adopt. They are there to connect them with the right company which can solve any problem for them. So that infrastructure basically is helping them grow. Even if you see Canada, US, so they have those kind of infrastructure, they have those kind of government bodies which are helping them to understand technology, helping them to adopt the technology. So in India also, we should have such organization bodies which can help the founder of the company's startup understand and adopt the technology which is suitable for them.
Thank you, Anurag. Raji, you also are a startup founder working in tech, deep tech. What would you say is it easier to sell in India, or is it more difficult to sell in India or abroad?
Well, thanks very much for having me here in this forum. Yes, I'll make a couple of observations about my product, but before that, generally as well, the biggest opportunity in front of us is kind of, I think for the last 2 decades, there's been a lot of digital technologies coming that can help with any business of all scales. But particularly, I think right now we are on the cusp of democratization of AI, which is huge opportunity for SMEs in particular. Because unlike any previous innovations, previous even generation of machine learning, AI, and previous generation of IoT, which all I've been part of, this is uniquely important because this is an opportunity where there is a new tool, and AI is just a tool, it's not technology. AI is a tool. There is a new tool that has been brought to the world that can really help any parts of many parts of your transaction, many parts of your business much cheaper and much faster if you adopt it correctly. So I'll twist. In general, I would compare, as an outsider who is originally, of course, from here, I would say India is not lacking in anything. India is not necessarily lacking in availability of technology, but I think what we need is confidence. Confidence that we can apply this technology in order to do business the way that we can grow, the way that we want to do this business. So in particular, I would say, for small and medium businesses, I second all the kind of, points particularly. Start with what is your business problem? Where do you want to create more value for your customers? And then approach and learn about tools and technologies that can help you deliver more value faster and cheaper so that you can keep more of the profit.
I think you're speaking the language of keeping more of the profit to the right audience. So let's start from the other end. Raji, you just spoke about AI. And you have been doing some work in IoT itself. Can you give us some case studies, some good stories of somebody who's applied it in MSME and has succeeded?
Absolutely. I think they are all related fields of technologies. IoT stands for Internet of Things, where you connect physical objects and things to the internet, as the name suggests. And the idea is that you remove the dependencies. Even if you're moving, you're selling this bottle of water, you remove everything about you convert this physical bottle of water into an asset in the internet, and then after that you can track everything about it in the virtual world. And it's basically an abstraction layer, right? So you can do businesses where, other than physically moving the atoms, all the rest of the things about that business can be done in the internet, which means from anywhere in the world, from your mobile phone, from your computer, no matter where you are situated, which is very, very powerful way, like, Mahia mentioned, a new business concept. In particular, where IoT has made large difference abroad and in India is, for example, in healthcare and digitization of various steps in the healthcare. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for MSME to bring it not just in tier 1 cities, but to tier 2, tier 3, and everywhere in India with respect to healthcare delivery. We cannot change the fact that the humans, our bodies which are sick, are where they are physically. But every other information, every blood report, every X-ray, every other test that we have done can be immediately digitized, connected through secure IoT, and then we can change where we make the other decisions. For example, a doctor can be sitting anywhere in the world today, looking at all your data and making the best recommendation for the next course of action. So I feel like healthcare has a large potential for this IoT and a lot of automation using AI. The other broad industry where I think IoT has already played but will also continue playing a role is in logistics and supply chain, right? By definition, that's where you move things, but in the internet, it's very easy to move information. So that can help move physical things also much better. So you can optimize supply chain, logistics, all these functionalities across all industries using AI and IoT.
Thank you. Anurag, you've been working with blockchain and finance quite a bit. There is a myth that blockchain is, I don't know if it's a myth, but it's quite true also that blockchain is expensive, right? So for MSMEs, how easy is it to use blockchain? And the other two digital tools, if you have a case study that you can quote.
Yes. See, blockchain is not expensive, actually. If you see right now, there are blockchain solutions available in the market where companies, startups, and SMEs, basically they can deploy their projects on layer 3 and layer 4. So blockchain consists of many layers. It consists from layer 1 to layer 4. So layer 1 and 2 are the core layer. basically, which is the part of the foundation which is developing it. Then layer 3 and layer 4 are meant for the people to deploy their retail projects on it. And people can deploy it for the fraction of cost. You can just deploy your project, you can deploy a decentralized application, automation, anything, just for few dollars, for few cents. Yes, deploying a core blockchain, a layer 1, layer 2 blockchain, that requires money. Definitely, but that can be a part of a bigger organization which can create that blockchain infrastructure and which can again create layer 3 and layer 4 where people can have it done for few dollars. So it's a myth that it's an expensive operation. And another thing is blockchain is just for the immutability of data. It's a data management thing. So one has to understand that what they are using blockchain for. If they do not require blockchain, they should not use it. Yeah, they can use blockchain if they are interested in the financial part of it. They can have it as a payment gateway or for the payment services, for the payment ecosystem connecting with the financial ecosystem of the blockchain side. But if they have the requirement for the data immutability, data security, for that they can implement blockchain backend, blockchain infrastructure for various things, like for gaming industry. For example, right now, decentralized gaming are a trend. For that, basically, gaming industry has been into the fire that there is so much manipulation going on. Any function which is executed, like dicing function is there, card distribution function is there within the game. For example, you take gambling game, you take board games. So that can be randomized by using blockchain as a backend by generating random hash, which is not repeated in billions of years. So integrating in that, it's feasible. Integrating some other industry like cyber security in forex industry, that is feasible. Like forex industry is experiencing so many scams. Why? Because all the data, it is basically in the central domain. Even if your trade log, your liquidity provider, nothing is there in the decentralized domain. So if you have every data in the decentralized web, so that data cannot be mutated. Even the service provider and the broker, they cannot manipulate the data, they cannot manipulate the market. So for that industry, blockchain is feasible. So there are some industry where it is feasible and some industry that is not required. But if you want to start in the, your industry with blockchain, so you do not require huge amount of money. You just have to identify the potential where you need to integrate.
Thank you, Anurag. Mahua, coming to you, some use cases in India and preferably in Hyderabad, if you can name a few.
Use cases in context to... Sure. So yeah, there are a lot of examples, but before I get there, I want to kind of add to what Anurag just talked about on blockchain. So the thing with blockchain or any technology is, as I mentioned in my previous comment, don't start with technology. Start by asking the business problem that I need to solve, and then, see what is the best way to kind of go about and solve. So when it comes to blockchain, what does it do? It basically ensures that industries or sectors where data can be altered, manipulated, and there are a lot of scams, you need to ensure the integrity of data. That is, let's say, the primary criteria. Those are the industries or use cases where there is a need to use blockchain. Now, you talked about, now I'm going to divert a lot and kind of get to the examples. I'll talk about few, in context to SMEs, small medium businesses where, you still want to kind of ensure data integrity, but you don't really need to invest in blockchain. Let's take few examples. So, let's say that you are an artist, right? You make hand-drawn arts and you sell that online. You have to ensure that, nobody else is able to copy that. So you can use AI-generated hallmark on those original artwork. That's a way to kind of identify that it's your original artwork. So there are cheaper and other alternatives. I'll give another example. So there is, I actually know this company. So they create Kanjivaram sarees. They are based out of Chennai. So they wanted to be very creative about it, and they did, they wanted to ensure that the buyers actually get to see how this Kanjivaram sari is being made. And that's how they started off with, and they were looking at various options, like, what are my options? What they came up with, or what they kind of, used is very unique. I think it's worth sharing here. So, in the sari, there is like in any sari, like if you go to any local market or any place to buy sari, you would find a sticker, right, that tells you its MRP and all of that. Over there, they have put a QR code, and that QR code takes the user back to a video which shows how that sari was made and, the entire process around it. So, you have to be creative. You have to start with what is it that I need to solve? Is it trust that I want to build? Is it the authenticity of the product that I want to convey to the users? And there are a lot of different ways of getting there. Blockchain doesn't have to be the, one and only solution. So yeah, so these are a few examples that I can talk about. And do you want me to give, there are so many examples in my head, so do you want me to continue or? Okay, yeah, I thought so.
So, sir, this thing to you, you've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs about cybersecurity and data. Somehow in the MSME world, we think we do not have data, we do not have cybersecurity is not a big problem for us. Solve the mystery for us.
So yeah, good question. So first thing is, I'll keep it very short in the interest of time. First thing is that the value chain has moved into the cyber world mostly. Physical goods are seen almost as a last leg of the chain, which can be outsourced to factories, highly automated factories or other countries, third world countries. Everything, the value has moved into the cyber world. Even you see all your documents and all, you may or may not take a printout, but bulk of it is there. Money also, you see that most of it is digital. So in that manner, so now what is of value needs to be protected. And unfortunately, in the cyber world, sort of different laws apply. Like the laws of physics is different. You do not have the same laws like what all the current laws are there to protect physical goods and human life. Okay. In the cyber world, for example, to replicate an object in the physical world takes equal number of molecules. In the cyber world, you can make 1 million copies at zero cost. Okay. Similarly, the business of sharing. For example, if someone is sitting in a chair, I can't use the same chair. Or if someone is drinking a bottle of water, I can't take the same. Whereas in the cyber world, the very notion of cloud is that of sharing. If you see all these apps and all, at the same time, they are being used by millions of users. So in that manner, when there is a paradigm shift, you need to realize that suddenly many things change. For example, take the police jurisdiction. Somebody from some Brazil could have hacked the account and converted to bitcoins and knocked it off. Now, where do these police jurisdictions and all these apply? So you have the crime is happening in one place, the victim is in another place, the perpetrator or the criminal is in another place. So all these things bring together a mix which is very dangerous. So you need to protect yourself. What is of value needs to be protected very thoroughly. And that is the reason why you need to have adequate MSMEs and all are the worst. I get a lot of calls saying that I got hit by a ransomware attack. I got hit by something else. And how do I do that? I didn't have backups and all. So many means and measures are there for cybersecurity world because you do not realize that you're using so much stack. Right from your apps to the network, to your endpoint devices, to the application layer, the platform layer, application, cloud, cyber forensics, many areas are there. So I'll just add a couple of points that if you were to take the GDPs of the world, if cyber crimes were a GDP, it would be the third largest GDP in the world. Okay, today. First is US with $24 trillion. Second is China with some $18 trillion. Third is cyber crimes with $8 trillion. The next is half of it, Germany and Japan of equal size, $4 trillion. Then comes India with $3.75 trillion. Something which is of the size of the third largest GDP in the world. That is one thing. The second fact is that if you were to take something like this Alliance group, you must have heard of Bajaj Alliance. Alliance is an insurance group. What are insurance groups? They track risks very closely. Cyber risks are deemed to be the number one risk in the world today, surpassing every other kind of risk. climates, catastrophes, natural disasters, terrorist attacks, business interruptions, political unrest, everything else falls behind. Cyber risks are the number one risk in the world today. So something which is of the size of the third largest GDP in the world and which is deemed as the number one risk in the world today, how should you approach it? You cannot approach it from the point of view of saying that, what is the big deal? Let me put a little antivirus and one firewall and be done with it. It just won't work. You will simply lose heavily, and many of them, including Fortune 500 companies, have been attacked very badly. So that is there. You need all kinds of measures. Let me close with a simple example, which sums it up, even the ones which I had mentioned about blockchain. Take simple thing like academic degree certificates. Okay, academic degree certificates. Now, you need to protect not only today's data, but 10 years ago, whatever data also. Why? Otherwise, somebody will come with a degree saying, I'm an MBBS from this college, 10 years ago I passed. It could be a fake certificate, right? So how will you protect it? So one of the ways, one of the startups that we have, by the way, Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, we incubate about 60 plus cybersecurity startups here, okay? And we work with governments, intelligence agencies, policy, organizations, as well as with corporates, large, medium, small, and then with user enterprises like banks, pharma, retail, and all, and with academic institutes, research, faculty development, student development, conferences, hackathons, so on, and with international bodies like Hague Security Delta, Hague Center for Strategic Studies, Netherlands, CyberWest Australia, Israel, US, so many other countries. So UK, the other day Cardiff University, all these people are here. So what we do is, so taking this example, academic degree certificates, if you were to put it on a blockchain, okay, one of the startups does that, then you are protected so that nobody can bribe some clerk and simply enter some data or do something and do that, provided they're validated before putting it. So there is certain business case, as Mahima mentioned, for which it really applies, and you need to use that. And then there are a whole host of tools. There are about 200 areas in cybersecurity. Not delve into that. The rich career, because by the way, an opening for you, it's a $2 trillion market. Okay. So, of which, what will happen if people don't invest $2 trillion in it, the ecosystem doesn't invest, there are going to be straight $12 trillion worth of damages. That is the reason why 2 trillion. And we as an industry body, what is a problem, we view as an opportunity. And because there is such a large gap, we can, sitting here, we can solve the cybersecurity problems of the world. Privacy laws, it's one last line on it. We had GDPR in Europe, and here DPDP Act has come out. The highest ever fines in all civil and criminal codes are imposed for breach of personal data, which is 250 crores. And in that, if they find multiple breaches, it jumps to 500 crores. So, and now multiply that by 137. 137 countries have adopted data security, data protection laws and data privacy laws, like GDPR. GDPR, European one, 4% of your annual turnover can be imposed as fines. So given these things, MSMEs should wake up and see that it is of utmost importance. In fact, the contracts themselves, every contract will specify that you are cyber safe, your vendors are cyber safe, everything is cyber safe. So I'd urge everyone to take note of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to the panel. I just want to give you all one last word, a minute for a last word, starting with Raji.
Okay, that's a perfect setup because I just wanted to add one thing to it. Absolutely, any problem that's big enough is also an opportunity that's big enough. And in the context of Indian women entrepreneurs, biggest message I want to say is, this is pure white field because cybersecurity, don't be afraid of acronyms. It is just people making up random 4 and 5 letter words for things that they cannot explain more simply. So come join the cybersecurity industry. I'm building in it because I see the opportunity, and I think there's opportunity for people, particularly SMEs, because the flavor of cybersecurity you need depends on the amount of digitization and the understanding local knowledge, local culture, and local ways of doing business in order to also secure them. So while there is big problem, there's also a lot of solutions to be built, and I'll be happy to mentor anyone who wants to build in the space.
My last word is that in India, even for women entrepreneurs, we need a technology infrastructure, an infrastructure where people can understand the technology, how to integrate that technology within their business, a right technology within their business. If they have to integrate blockchain, they have to understand that blockchain is required for their business. If they have to integrate AI and ML, they have to identify that it is required for their businesses or not. There are several segments in the digitalization. People have to identify which segment is suitable for them. So we need to have an infrastructure which educates the startups, which educates the industry, existing industries about what is required, what they are lacking in, what is the problem statement. So we have to provide them the solution statement. We have to provide them in a passive mode. Nobody will actively come and fetch for themselves. So we have to have some infrastructure which passively educate everyone basically in the startup and the industrial sector. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, so my last word would be like, throughout the session, as I mentioned, like start with your business outcomes. Don't think about going digital is like you have to learn AI, ML, blockchain, all of this in one day. No, there are ways of kind of going about it. So Anurag talked about an infrastructure which is very much needed in India. Probably, I'm hopeful, I'm an optimist. I believe that those kind of infrastructure would be there in the future. In the interim, there are a lot of resources already available, especially if you're a woman entrepreneur. So some of the key ones that I would call out, and I would highly encourage all of you to kind of use those programs that are already available, like Amazon Global Selling Program, Flipkart Samarat, and likewise Google Digital Unlocked. Meta also has tons of resources, not just for entrepreneurs, but anybody who wants to kind of, go digital and understand more about technology. So I would highly, encourage all of you to be open-minded. Don't be fearful of the fact, hey, in order to implement AI, do I need to learn AI or do I need to hire a data scientist? I would say definitely not. You would have to have the basic knowledge of the usage of AI so that you are aware, of its benefits and areas where you can use AI to maximize your potential. But then utilize the current set of programs that are available, and also you can consult any SMEs who can guide you as to, for your business, what kind of, let's say you want to use AI. So what aspects of your business you need to use AI, and they can help you and they can kind of create a technology roadmap for you. So yeah, so my recommendation is going to be like, you are already doing something which is very hard, that is you're a woman entrepreneur. Just be open-minded and just invest little bit more in terms of learning these digital technologies. So yeah, thank you.
Hello, yeah. So I'd like to conclude with saying that women are weakly represented in cybersecurity. So we take every step to encourage women. Okay, women in cyber, we run many programs. So I'd highly encourage you to enter that field. There is a big misconception that I want to dispel, that cybersecurity is all about techies and all that. No. It's a very, some hooded people sitting in some basement hacking away and all that. It's an absolute misconception. It is a very big, respectable field. It's much like, say, defense. If you're in defense, doesn't mean all the people are running in the front line with guns. Okay, so like defense. So there are many, many areas in it, ranging from law, legal, like privacy law, cyber law, and all that, to psychology. Okay, cyber psychology, and so many areas, to user experience. And of course, technical. In technical also, there are a wide range of areas. So that is the thing, and it's not some hype that's going to go away. When I talk about cybersecurity, I mean cybersecurity and privacy. Both are like cousins. So you should do that. The other thing I have for you is that there are so many issues, like, for example, startups have access to market, access to capital, access to mentors, access to collaborations, to talent, to what is in day and age of AI and ML, access to data also. All these things are there. The one-stop shop for you would be an industry body like NASSCOM. Please come to us, Data Security Council of India, COE, if you want anything related to cyber security. Because if there is credit liquidity, you want to raise funds. We were just in the process of closing 2 rounds, for 2 startups, $5 million of funds each. Okay, so if you wanted any help of any kind, I think you should be in touch with a very good industry body. I think COWE is doing a great job. Okay, it will be great to also participate if you're interested in different specialized areas with different bodies. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. With this, we close the panel. I just wanted to reiterate that don't be afraid of tech. Use it in your business model once you've decided what you want to do with it. Every technology is available to you, and at COWE, we are very happy to help you connect to all the industry bodies and to different startups who are working in this area. Thank you again.